Hey everyone, welcome back. Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 21st day of June 2023, I'm taking you over to JM Bullion so we can look at those live spot prices, the American Silver Eagle availability, and the premiums for those American Silver Eagles. But before all of that, huge shout out and a big thank you to each and every single one of our channel members. Really appreciate all y'all. Now over here, it looks like gold is down below $2,000, silver down below $24, platinum below $1,000, and palladium below that $1,500 mark. So we are definitely pre-March levels. And why is that? Why do you suppose? Now over here to the bullion sales at the United States Mint, and there's no new tale to tell for the American Eagle story at all. Now there is a new tale to tell for the California California family in Pico Union area. That's right, they sold all those pennies, and we don't know how much, but look at that. Some of them look disastrous. Look at this. Oh, man. Well, you can see what's going on there, but a lot of them look like they are in decent shape. Looks like they are Bank of America. Looks like Security Pacific National Bank, and then rolls galore. Now, let's keep on keeping on. You remember what these look like, right? Look at this. Pacific Northwest looks like some kind of exchange, and then looks like Return to City National Bank. It even has a number there and a phone number there. Really interesting. Good story out of Pico Union. Now, this is by Travis Schlepp, posted June 2023, updated June 2023, a little bit later. Now, title of the article is Sold. California Family Sells 1 Million Pennies Found in Relative's Home. Now, I heard from somebody, it was a YouTuber that bought it, but that could be just rumors and speculation. Weeks after capturing the interest of the entire nation, a California family's bounty of 100 million, or 1 million, 100 million would be amazing, 1 million copper pennies has officially changed hands. John and Elizabeth Reyes, who discovered the massive cache of precious metal coins. Precious metal coins. I think that's awesome that they said copper is precious metal. That's awesome. In the home that previously belonged to Elizabeth's father. Say they've completed the sale for the pennies. The pennies were found in a crawl space of the historic Pico Union home, where Elizabeth's father, Fritz, lived with his brother for decades. Since Fritz passed and his brother moved out, the Reyes family, alongside Elizabeth's sister, her cousin, and their spouses, have been cleaning out the 1900s era home. To prep it for renovations while cleaning out a crawl space, the family uncovered boxes, crates, and bags of copper coins that Fritz had apparently stockpiled prior to the U.S. switching from copper to zinc pennies. Folks, do you know somebody who has collected copper coins, copper pennies, for a long time and hoarded them like this? Yeah, well, it makes the news. That's how big of a deal it is. Think about that. That's huge. And that was when they switched from copper to zinc and cents. Now, Fritz and his brother were German immigrants born in wartime who had seen firsthand what a material shortage looked like. Wow. John Reyes said Fritz began collecting copper pennies, hoping they would only gain value over time, and he was not wrong, was he? While it was an exciting discovery, thousands and thousands of pounds of pennies proved to be a bit more of a hassle than the busy family members had time for. So John listed them for sale online. Now, and that's kind of sad, really, that they didn't go through them by themselves. But maybe they don't know what to look for. Maybe they didn't want to hire a professional. Although the total face value of the coins was only about $10,000, Reyes was asking for more than twice that. Hoping that a collector or investor might be willing to buy a lottery ticket in the form of thousands of pennies. Folks, do you think they scored buying these for $20,000? I would definitely think so, especially if they went through them. Since sharing his story with KTLA, that's the news, TV station in Los Angeles, Reyes' story went viral, and they received dozens of offers. He confirmed to KTLA that a buyer had been chosen and a transaction had been completed. He didn't specify the total sale price or how the buyer managed to haul the massive amount of coins out of their undisclosed hiding place in the Inland Empire, in the IE. That is incredible, folks. What do you think? Would you have bought these for 20 grand, knowing that there was 1 million pennies, knowing that maybe one of those pennies is double that, possibly? You never know. Gosh, you just never know. And what it looks like, maybe all of these weren't necessarily bank wrapped. I mean, a good portion of them looked like they were, right? But how many of them were customer wrapped rolls for some older pennies? Maybe some wheats, maybe some Indian head cents, yeah. Interesting. So you know what came out yesterday, right? Yeah, this is government.com, and this is the 2023 United States Mint Proof Set, and it's graded NGC Gem Proof, first day of issue. Look at that, folks. Would you buy something like this for $79.95 and a wire $77.59? And I thought that was pretty interesting. They graded it Gem Proof, first day of issue. Isn't that cool? And they did it in the lens. They just smacked a sticker on there and said, it's good to go. Isn't that awesome? Good stuff. Now, let's keep on keeping on. There is the mint set with the two lenses with the grade on it. That's amazing. And there are the two lenses and the grade as well. It's interesting that I've seen them do this before, actually. Not out of the ordinary. But let's keep on keeping on. There's some really great stuff going on here. Now, the United States Postal Service issued a warning about a week ago, and about a month ago, and about 2 months ago. And they are reiterating it again today, tomorrow, and the next day. You watch. Post office urges caution. Keep this item out of the mail. Yeah, you know what they're talking about. Checks. Because checks, well, there's something going on with checks. Massive amounts of fraud. Now, this is KSBY, California's Central Coast. News, National News, Scripps News. Citing rampant check fraud, USPS urges Americans not to mail checks. What? Why are you not going to mail checks? That's like everybody's been doing that since checks were invented. You know, you got to pay your car payment. You got to pay your insurance. You got to pay your mortgage. You send in a check. Well, maybe not anymore. Maybe they want us to go digital. And maybe this is a big push to get us to go more digital, right? Because, I mean, think about it. Just check this out. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network reported 680,000 incidents of check fraud last year. The USPS reported 300,000 incidents of mail theft. There they go. And are these the best locks that you could possibly buy? I don't know, but maybe not. And like I said, this is by Scripps News staff. U.S. authorities are urging Americans not to mail checks. And it isn't just U.S. authorities. There's actually like several different federal agencies. And I don't know why they didn't name them all. But really, they're making a big push for us to get out of using checks. Okay, they want us to use digital money. Now, U.S. authorities are urging Americans not to mail checks if they don't absolutely need to. Reports from the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, that's the FinCEN, said there were at least 680,000 complaints of check fraud last year. And the U.S. Postal Inspection Service said there were about 300,000 reports of mail theft in 2021. That was only in 2021. Here we are in 2023, and it's getting way worse, and you know it. Each of those numbers jumped by nearly double compared to the previous year. The U.S. Postal authorities are urging people to try and avoid mailing checks when possible or try to use secure locations to send mail, like directly at a post office. And you know what? I remember one time I was directly at a post office, and this gentleman had helped me mail some coins. This was back in 2014. I had probably a whole roll of 1976 quarters, and dude knew they were in there, and they never made it to their destination. So I don't trust those USPS folks either. I think they're in on it myself, but that's just my opinion. Now, while fake check scams are something to be aware of, like depositing a check from someone you don't know, or for more than it's owed, authorities say this is a bit different. Yeah, check this out. Pandemic government relief checks were being targeted for months, and victims had to wait longer to receive. Now, here we go. Despite a decline in the use of personal checks in favor of other methods of payments, I got a lisp. U.S. authorities say check fraud cases have doubled in the last 2 years. In some cases, criminals use a technique called check washing, in which the thief steals a signed check from a post box and puts a larger sum on it, making it out to a new recipient. Yow, that's amazing. So they've got to use technology for that. Experts say when possible, deliver checks in person or only drop them in the mail at a post office location and not at a post box on the street. Yow. Authorities say sophisticated criminal operations are at work, and they don't really tell us what kind of sophisticated criminal operations are at work. Counterfeiting checks, infiltrating post office distribution centers, and creating fake IDs to deposit checks. Yeah, I guess that is pretty sophisticated, isn't it? Wow. Yikes. That's the end of that story. Now let's keep on keeping on. Now this is the Hill. USPS investigating after a $28 check was altered and cashed for $4,200. Yikes. This is out of Tampa, Florida, WFLA, that's the station there. A month after the crook stole a check they mailed from their local post office. Yeah, they mailed it from their post office. Yikes. Remember what they just said in that other one? Recommending it, launching it from your post office? Well, this one was stolen from the post office. Changed the amount and cashed it. Michael Musetta and his wife finally have their money back. However, the Florida couple still don't have answers on how they were robbed. Well, I got an idea, but you're not going to like it. A carbon copy of the check shows it was made out to Florida Blue Health Insurance on April 22nd for $28. But a copy of the cash check that their bank gave them shows a stranger cashed it for $4,200. That's a lot of money. The United States Postal Service Office of Inspector General is investigating how it happened. Yeah. Their Bank First Horizon has now deposited the entire $4,200 back into their account. Well, that's nice. Now, there it is. So let me get rid of this here. Bye-bye. Maybe not bye-bye. Anyway, what do you think? Are you using checks? Are you going to hesitate to use checks now? I don't know, but let me show you this one more thing here. All right, post office urges caution: keep this item on the mail. Does this push, okay, for us to not use checks? Is it just one more nail in the coffin for a CBDC, or well, not for the CBDC, but for our way of doing business as it is? I mean, if they get everybody to not use checks anymore, it's all going to go digital, right? Now check this out. I just popped in CBDC here in the Google machine, and the top stories popped up here are, and these are the big ones. All right, IMF working on global central bank digital currency platform. What? IMF official, that's the International Monetary Fund, officials presents blueprint for cross-border CBDCs. Yeah, there they are. And there you are. And there we are. And there it is. We are really close to a worldwide global CBDC, a central bank digital currency, folks. And yeah, what's going to happen to those cryptocurrencies? Yeah, that's probably a really good question. And I imagine a lot of people who have money in those should probably be asking themselves, is a cryptocurrency that's going to directly compete with a CBDC, a central bank's digital currency, well, who's going to win that one, do you think? Yeah, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Now let's go to those plus ones. Bam! Nope. Bam! There we are. Psalm 107:8. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his kindness and his wonders to the children of man. And I believe what that means is that we should publicize our personal experience of the Lord's kindness so that others may too gain increased awareness of his protective care. That's right. You got to testify. You got to let people know how it has helped you so. Now, over here, this is a really great one. And this is a little bit personal for me. This is, I don't know why it's doing that, but this is a Geils band remaster. Centerfold, lyrics on screen. And yeah, I had this happen to me February 1995. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's the day, or the month and the year that it happened to me. February of 1995. Centerfold by Geils band. So, folks, I want to thank y'all for watching. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, please sub the channel. It's free. Stacker out.